G'day, Finroo here, how you doing? Welcome along to Homebrew Wednesday number 40, shall we call it. I've had a shitter of a day, but it's one of those things, right? You never know what the day's going to present. I've had a huge day. I'm absolutely shattered. When I walked in the gate at about 1 o'clock today, I said to myself, oh my God, I'm going to bed. But then a little package had arrived. From Tubedinoz, bless him, up in Auckland, New Zealand, and look at the clarity on this. So this is his ANZAC Biscuit ale, and let's just have a look here. I've actually got a new microphone that I've bought. It's a huge thing, but I can't see it making much difference. But anyway, let me know in the comments if you think the microphone and my voice sounds better. Although I do have a kind of a difficult voice to you know. So what I've got here is I've got his ANZAC Day Biscuit Ale, and I watched with interest his brew video and his tasting video, and he was kind enough to email me and say, I'm sending a bottle your way. I said, oh wow, that's fantastic, thank you so much. So just pop that there for a minute. Actually, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get straight to it and we'll pour it. And I've gone to a bit of trouble to get my glass really clean. And yep. And let's just see what we've got. He's put this straight from the keg. Beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Let me just put that down. And really looking forward to see you, Dino. Thank you. You've made my day coming home and seeing that there. That you took the time, as you know, others have to share. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Look at the clarity on that. That is absolutely beautiful. Look at that. You take a photo of that. Now, Dino is the sort of brewer that I'm going to have a wee sip. I'm going to go straight in before I do a tasting because I'm quite parched. Okay, so he says, hi Finroo. Here's the original recipe with the changes I made. Cheers, Dean. And he always goes to a lot of trouble, as do the other fellas, giving me all the notes and everything like that, which is fantastic. So let's just have a wee walk through it if you're interested, and I'm sure you are, because that beer, from what I just had that sip then, is rather superb. The beer version of the world famous and true Aussie icon, ANZAC Biscuit, all grain recipe. Okay, so they're going in for 70. So it was 70% efficiency. This is the original recipe. Going for 70% efficiency. Batch volume 20 litres. Boil time 60. The mash water used was 21, and of course Dino does a half batch, so this is the recipe for sort of the full batch, but so this is the recipe, yeah, as I said, for the full batch. So boil time 60 minutes, mash water, the amount of mash water 21.15, with sparge water 6.5 litres, so that's interesting to me. I'll talk about that in a minute. Total water 27.72 litres, boil volume 24.8, pre-boil gravity 1.043. So I ended up with an original gravity after the boil of 1052 and a final gravity of 1010, which is and that's what and that's what you want, isn't it, when you're brewing a beer? You want 10, 10, 10, 12, no matter what you're brewing, or 10, 13, 10, 10 14. And that, you know, this is a obviously sort of like a bitter, or it says Biscuit ale, but it's sort of a bitter, I would call it, or a pale ale. And it's absolutely wonderful. So yeah, so the IBUs are 20, so it's not very bittered. It's not, you know, the bitterness is very, very low, and in fact that's exactly what I taste. Interesting thing, the BUGU, which is the bittering unit, and the I guess you call it the gravity unit, and so that's a reading. The BUGU is a reading that that brewers give to beer to try and get a balance. So I guess it's quite difficult to. So when I do a beer, if I've brewed a beer and I want to make it less bitter, I'll chop down the IBUs a bit. But if you're doing if you're trying to make a beer off the software, you need to get a kind of a balance between the sort of the gravity reading and the IBUs, and there's a recipe for that, and I'll put a link below because I found a site that tells you how to calculate that. So basically from what I can remember, is that 1.0 is horrendously bitter. 0.3. What's this one again? This is 0. This is 0.3. So 0.0 is like very malty, no bitterness at all. It would be quite sweet. So that's 0.0, and then you're moving up through it. You put your balance when you're doing your recipe on the software, and if you want to say, okay, so I want to get it like a bit more of a stout, so you're going to go for 0.12 or 0.13, but it all depends on the original gravity and how much alcohol is going to be in the beer when it's finished, and that makes a big difference to the bitterness. So I guess basically from a homebrewer's point of view, if you're making a really strong beer, let's just go silly here and go 10% beer. If you had if you were to put a 20 IBU, it would be really, really sweet. But if you put a beer that was like a 3.5 at 20 IBU, it wouldn't be so sweet. So there's a connection between the BU, which is the bittering units, and the gravity units. But I'll leave a link, and you can have a look and study it, because it's a lot of you guys. I don't use software so much. I sort of wing it with my beers, but a lot of you guys do use software, so it's a cool thing to know, and you know, you guys probably know. But anyway, the BUGU is 0.38, so it's not very bitter. Cheers. This is wonderful, Dino. Clear. It's made my day. It's clear. It's made my day. You can hear BAXT shuffling around out there. Colour 17.9. Okay, so mashing at 69 for 40 minutes. Interesting. With my brews and Deanoz brews, I'm mashing for, what am I doing? I'm doing an hour and 20, and he's doing 40 minutes. Just slightly different procedures, you know. And obviously it's even got this, you know, The lacing on them, Jesus. So he's mashed out at 75, which is pretty standard. So the malts he's used in this brew, we're going for time, we're doing well. So he's used 3 kg of Gladfield malt. He's used 450 grams of golden oats from Gladfields. 450 grams of Gladfield biscuit malt, 450 grams of Gladfield malt, Munich malt, 450 grams of light Munich malt. He's used 200 grams. Okay, so 200 grams of golden syrup. So he used 100 grams because remember half batch. But if you're going for the full batch, go for 200 grams. So hops, 60-minute boil for 20 IBUs. Melba, and I add 11%. I don't know Melba. But that's, sorry, he's used Raquel hops. Okay, so he's used Raquel hops for the bittering. And I can taste the hops here. It's very, it's like a Speyside single malt whiskey, you know. It's not in your face like an Isla whiskey, but it's subtle and slightly fruity and I think that's a great thing actually. Because I think we tend to, you know, in the early days of brewing and drinking whiskey, we want as much sensation as we can get. The more peat, the better. The more alcohol, the better. The more hops, the better. The more warmth, you know, the more dank. And you don't actually hear people talking about that so much in the last couple of years, the dankness of the hops and the... He's used 3.6 grams of calcium chloride and 3 grams of gypsum, and I like that. I do really like that from my perspective. Really like that calcium gypsum that ratio. For New Zealand water, I'm not 100% sure what his water is up there is like that, but down here in Christchurch, I know we've got a pH of about 7.8. And with our water profile, with the minerals we've got in it, I like to do kind of even, sort of 4 to 4 for both those. Phosphoric acid, I'm not 100% sure what that is. Is that lactic acid? I don't know. He's put a Wilflock tablet in it, 15 minutes, and 100 grams of desiccated coconut has gone into the secondary. The yeast is usually Lulleman yeast, and the fermentation has been in the primary is 18 degrees at 5 psi. Oh, so you're doing the are you? Oh, you've gone to the other side then, have you? 5 psi. Oh, that changes things. 5 psi. Oh, so you're fermenting under pressure now, are you, Dino? I didn't know you did that. You're a sly fellow. Secondary, 20 degrees for 2 days. So he's a 5 and 2. Yep, okay, slightly different than what I would do. Cold crash at -1. Yeah, and at 20 psi. PSI boy. For 3 days. Carbonation, 2 degrees. 2 degrees at 12 psi for 7 days. And he roasted the coconut. He says here how he roasted the coconut, but I'm gonna skip through that and get into the tasting of this beer because it is absolutely fantastic. It tastes great. I'm not going to mention about what I think about, but I will another time about fermenting under pressure. However, having said that, that is a very good beer, and whether fermenting under pressure has made it that good, I don't know. Did you filter it? Is it filtered, Dino? Because actually it tastes like it's filtered. I know it's in the keg. It's got a lovely drying finish on it. Look at the state of that. You guys making beer like that? Sure you are. Look at that. That's out of the keg. It's travelled from the top of New Zealand to sort of midway down the South Island. And look at it. That is a wonderful beer. Can I taste the... I guess the golden syrup is in there. Can I taste it? Oh, got the coconut. Isn't it funny how that the power of suggestion, when I was looking for the coconut and suddenly remembered that it had coconut in it, I got it straight away. So well done, Dino. The coconut and the balance of the coconut is beautiful. By geez, it's good. And I'm drinking it at room temperature here, so the room temperature here is probably about sort of 16 degrees. Maybe a wee bit warmer. I didn't put it in the fridge. I don't know if you can hear still got my stout bubbling away out there. So it's a very subtle beer. It's got a beautiful clean fermentation. Absolutely no off flavours. So what you're getting here is a very, very sessionable beer. Geez, I hope I could make a beer like this. Yeah, the coconut. So now that I've spotted the coconut, the only thing that pisses me off about this is he only sent me one bottle. It's a bit disappointing actually, but the coconut is prominent on the nose and prominent on the flavour. Well, it's subtle, but it's most definitely there. The fermentation is that the fermentation is that clean that everything else. The malt is the malt's quite thin, although it kind of gives the beer that sessionability, if you like, that and because it's got a wee bit of a dry and this. And I love the fact that people are brewing beers now that aren't so slam full of hops that they make your mouth go. You know what I mean? So just checking on the time, 20 minutes. I'm going to shoot away because I've just bought. That is wonderful, Dino. Thank you so much for sending it and taking the time to sending me the notes. If you guys out there are interested in brewing this beer, and it's if you're interested in brewing this beer, go on to. I'll leave links for Deanoz. As I said, I'm picking up my game. I'm going to be putting links down for things. He'll have the whole recipe there, and just follow his instructions, and I mean, he doesn't have he has an excellent setup, but it's not like he spent millions of dollars on, although he has gone to that, the other side. But having said that, I would be interested to know to what he thinks about Joe Biden. Am I a bit like him? And that is not anything to laugh about, actually. I don't take sides with that, but a lot of people have been laughing about Joe Biden, his aging thing, and it's not funny. But anyway, that's another story for another day, and nothing to do with me. So, yeah, that's it. I had some records to show you. I wanted to show you about this, but I'm absolutely shattered. So, take care, brew on, and let me know what you think about Deanoz recipe, and if you're going to give it a go, and let me know about if you have any, other some brews that you've done. I'm always interested to hear. So, cheers, you guys. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. You take care.